Surprise! I went to the Cannes Film Festival. Here is a vlog of everything that happened during the festival and during my time at Cannes. After arriving into Cannes and checking into our hotel, we decided to check out what was going on down in the Closet, which is the main area of the film festival. We were walking around for a little bit and then noticed a huge screen across the road that was showing the red carpet of Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. It was pretty surreal to watch this on screen, knowing that it was only happening in real life just down the street. The next day, I picked up my badge, checked out the red carpet that we saw on TV the night before, walked around a little bit, checked out the shops, and ended the night with a Royale with cheese. My first official day of the festival began with eating my weight in croissants and then heading down to the Closet, stopping briefly to check out the decor of the hotel. My first film was in one of the major theatres, and it was If Only I Could Hibernate, a Mongolian coming-of-age film. I plan on doing proper reviews for each of the films that I saw at the festival, but I will say that this was a pretty good start to my time at the festival. After the movie finished, I basically had to run to the train station to catch a shuttle bus to the Cineum, a cinema complex about 20 minutes away that was hosting screenings for the festival. Because the bus was late and we hit traffic, I ended up being late to the screening of Todd Haynes' Main December and was locked out of the screening. But luckily, there was another film called Goodbye Julia that wasn't as full, so I went there instead and I ended up really enjoying the film. The film is a Sudanese drama about two women, and it was incredibly engaging and interesting. It was one of the stronger films that I saw, and it's great considering that I didn't even know it existed until like 5 minutes before I saw it. After I said goodbye to Goodbye Julia, I watched Firebrand, a historical drama starring Alicia Vikander and Jude Law about the marriage between Queen Catherine and Henry VIII. I don't know if I would actually count this as a watch considering that I left after about an hour, but I wasn't feeling it, and what's a trip to the Cannes Film Festival without walking out of at least one film? But never mind the film, look at how cool this foyer is in the cinema. Back at the Closet in the evening, I had a screening at a smaller theatre for the premiere of Anita, a documentary about Anita Pallenberg, who was a German model, actress, and muse for the Rolling Stones. The documentary was excellent, and because it was a premiere, the director got up and said a few words, which was pretty cool. Also, I spotted Hugo from Succession in the audience, and that was pretty much my one and only celebrity sighting on the whole trip. After the documentary, I walked around the Closet for a bit. I think here is the premiere of The Idol that was happening in the main theatre, and then headed back to the hotel for some rest. The next day began with another furious walk to the train station as I caught the shuttle bus to the Cineum. Today, all of my films that I was scheduled to watch were taking place at the Cineum, which you can see here is a very, very spacey, futuristic type of building located in a boring old office park in the middle of nowhere. The Cineum is really nice, so it has really beautiful screens, great sound design. It's even got an arcade and a candy bar and some restaurants and cafes, so we're kept pretty entertained in between our screenings. The first film I watched was Fallen Leaves, which was a Finnish comedy that had this brilliant deadpan humour. I actually thought that Fallen Leaves was going to win the Palme d'Or, which is the main award of the festival. I was surprised to hear that it didn't, but I still think that this was one of the strongest films that I saw in the whole festival, and if it came back to my city, I would definitely rewatch it. After that, in the same cinema, I watched Club Zero, which was a drama, comedy, thriller. It was a real mixed bag. I don't know if I like this movie. The more I think about it, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. It's very quirky, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, and it's got some really squirmy moments. And then my final film of the day was The Breaking Ice, which was a Chinese coming-of-age drama. And when people ask what my favorite film that I saw was during the festival, I think I would say The Breaking Ice. It was such an incredible movie, a pretty easy plot and premise, nothing too complicated or dramatic, but the acting in combination with like the cinematography and the music and everything just felt really kind of ethereal and ambient and very dreamlike, and I just love the whole look and feel of the movie, and I would definitely rewatch if it came back to my city. Back at the Croisette, I had a pretty low-key evening. I walked around the area a bit, watched them prepare the red carpet for the evening premiere, which was Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. I caught a bit of the premiere when I was in the convention center, and I really liked hanging out in that convention center in the evenings because it was quiet, there was free Wi-Fi, there was space to just chill and relax. And as you can see on the table here, they have these publications that are printed every single day, so you can keep up with, what the jury and the critics are saying about each of the films that are coming out, and then what's happening in the marketplace as people are kind of buying and selling films. My third day at the festival began with a really amazing opportunity to watch a screening in the Grand Theatre Lumiere, which is where the red carpet is. So I actually got to walk the red carpet, and even though it wasn't an evening premiere where there's celebrities and there's cameras and you have to dress up formally and all of that stuff, it was still such an exciting and surreal experience to walk that red carpet and see that same view that all of those celebrities and professionals get a chance to see. Inside the Grand Theatre Lumiere, it is huge. It's like, I feel like it would seat thousands of people. It was that big, and I was on the upper level, so there's a full theatre underneath that you can't even see from where I was. But the theatre is so grand, and the movie that I saw was Kidnapped, which was an Italian drama. And it was very, very dramatic. It was about a young boy who is secretly baptized Catholic, even though he's from a Jewish family. And according to the laws of the time, if you're baptized Catholic, you have to then be brought up in the Catholic faith, which is not what their Jewish parents had intended for them. So it was a pretty dramatic, extravagant movie. I didn't really love it that much, but it was a good watch, and any excuse to be in the Lumiere Theatre, I'll take it. And then after that, I headed back on the shuttle bus back to the Cineum to catch Asteroid City by Wes Anderson. Definitely want to do a separate review for this, but I really enjoyed Asteroid City, and I thought it was one of the better Wes Anderson movies that he's made in a while. I have kind of fallen out of love with his work, but Asteroid City was pretty solid, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. And then for my final movie of the festival, I headed back to the Croisette to the Agnes Varda Theatre for the 100 Years of Warner Brothers documentary. Because this was a premiere and was hosted by Warner Brothers, when we arrived into the theatre, we got these really cute 100 Years of Warner Brothers pins, which I think is just the coolest thing. I'm a sucker for freebies like that. And yeah, because it was a premiere, we also got to hear from the director and also the CEO of Warner Brothers before and after the film. They did a little speech, they did a little spiel. The documentary on its own, it's pretty solid. It's basically like a 2-hour ad for Warner Brothers, which is okay, is to be expected, but I think it did a good job in recounting the history of Warner Brothers, and it was an easy watch and a great way to finish my time at the festival. After the screening, I hung around the theatre a little bit just to take in the sights and the sunset. Spent a little bit more time at the convention center just catching up on, all the publications and mags from the previous few days, and then headed to the hotel to get some much needed rest. The next day we started our morning at the farmer's market and then caught a touristy, dorky shuttle bus thing that takes you all around Cannes and shows you some of the nice spots in the area. It was really great to do this actually because we saw a whole side of Cannes that we hadn't seen before, and it was nice to have just a bit of a change of pace and a change of scenery after my hectic days at the festival. In the evening, I headed back down to the Croisette to just kind of soak up the sights for the last time, catch a little bit of a red carpet, walk down the pavilion for the last time, check out the sign that everyone was taking photos with, and finally get to the beach to have my Mr. Bean moment. It was nice to finally make it to the beach, and I did remember to do the video camera trick that he does. My time at the Cannes Film Festival was short and sweet, but it was nonetheless such a magical and incredible experience. I have so many memories and so many moments that I will treasure for the rest of my life. I feel so privileged to have had the experience to be in Cannes. I will always remember my time at Cannes this year.